The cold light of the pre-dawn north pierced the train car window, drawing whimsical patterns on the dusty upholstery. Ethan had been counting the miles slipping past the window for the second day straight. A few more hours and the old station of his hometown would deliver him onto the snowy platform. He was going home. For the first time in 5 long years, he would greet the new year, not in a smoky, temporary shelter among tired men reeking of diesel, but under his own roof, among his own people. It filled his chest with sharp, almost unbearable anticipation. The joy was thick, mixed with bitterness like honey with sand. His gaze involuntarily latched onto the huge, snow-white plush animal sprawled on the upper bunk, taking up almost all the space. A bear! For Leo, his 4-year-old son. Ethan imagined how the boy's eyes would light up, how tiny hands would get lost in the soft fur. His fellow traveller, a stocky man named Mark, also a shift worker, exchanged a couple of routine phrases about work, about the north. "Son or daughter?" Mark asked, nodding at the bear. "Son," Ethan forced out, putting on a semblance of a smile. "I have both a son and a daughter," Mark livened up, showing a bag full of gifts. "Got something for the wife too. What are you bringing yours?" Ethan was silent for a moment, his gaze dimming. "I don't have a wife." The pause stretched, the air growing heavier. "Buried her." "I'm sorry," Mark touched his shoulder, but Ethan was already looking out the window. The landscape outside grew darker, becoming familiar, lulling. Fragments of memories flashed in his mind, like sparks from a campfire in the night. Clara. Her name was synonymous with his youth. They grew up on neighbouring streets, shared a school desk, then their first timid love that swept them away around the age of 15. Their parents worried then, fearing them growing up too fast, but their love was pure, fragile, like an unopened bud. That's what Ethan used to say, and for him, Clara was exactly such a bud, the dearest, the brightest. There was nothing but tender feelings and long walks during their school years, though everyone around them already saw them as future spouses. After school, Clara entered medical college. Ethan wanted to go to a technical one but failed the exams. He went into the army, and that one night before he left remained their secret. I escaped from the feast, to the lake, to a secluded hut. There, under the stars, their lives intertwined. "Will you wait?" he asked, pulling her close. "How could I not? We are one now, forever," Clara whispered in return. 2 years of service flew by in feverish anticipation. Letters from Clara came in stacks, sparking the envy of his fellow soldiers. Ethan envied himself and was afraid of jinxing this happiness. His demobilization, the journey home that seemed endlessly long. On the platform, Clara threw herself into his arms. He caught her, kissed her until his parents reminded them of their presence. Clara's cheeks flushed. His parents smiled, looking at their son and his chosen one. A good choice, his mother's eyes said, picked her from childhood. Then came the wedding. The small village celebrated as one. About 100 guests shared their joy. Ethan and Clara were on top of the world, anticipating a long and happy life. Clara by then was already working as a paramedic at the local rural clinic. Ethan got a job as a tractor driver on the farm. His parents helped them buy a small house. Life flowed steadily. 2 months later, Clara shared news that took Ethan's breath away. She was pregnant. "Clara, are you sure?" He couldn't believe it. "Sure, darling," she laughed. "I'm a medic myself. The district clinic confirmed it, 7 weeks. My Clara, my love, how I love you." He picked her up, twirled her around the room. She laughed and showered kisses on the top of his head. And then the first misfortune struck. In autumn, Clara was returning from a house call. A huge dog, lunging out of the darkness, attacked her. She was quite far along, about 7 months. The dog pushed her and she fell. What would have happened next is unknown, but the owner pulled the dog away. He apologized, blaming a broken chain. Clara listened, clutching her belly, then screamed. Ambulance, hospital. Nothing helped. Their little girl died in utero. Clara was forced to deliver a dead child. This horror left a deep scar. A woman giving birth to life was confronted by death. Clara took a long time to recover. She cried constantly. Ethan was tormented by guilt. He was stuck in the farm hangar with a broken tractor. Damn that tractor! But a year later, a new ray of hope appeared. Another pregnancy. This time, Clara was fanatically careful. Ethan, when he could, saw her off and met her. Everything went smoothly, but at 6 months, bleeding, without a visible cause, another loss. A son was supposed to be born, but it didn't happen. Again, tears, pain, despair, tearing at their hearts. They survived this grief by burying themselves in work and everyday life. Another year later, a new pregnancy. This time, Clara didn't tell anyone until her belly became noticeable. The doctors scolded her for being careless. She listened silently. How could she explain to her colleagues that after 2 failures, superstitions become your only allies? This time she managed to carry the pregnancy to term. A girl was born, healthy, beautiful, or so they thought at first. But little Lily was only a day old. She just didn't wake up. Died in the hospital. Sudden infant death syndrome. They nearly went mad. Clara was ravaged by grief. Ethan started drinking, lashing out at everyone and everything. Only the support and constant care of Mrs. Eleanor, Clara's mother, helped them crawl out of that abyss. Doctors insisted they travel to the city for examination. That's where they found a rare pathology in Ethan. The geneticist spoke plainly. The chances of having a viable child were minimal. 1%, in theory. How many? Ethan asked dully. How many what? The doctor didn't understand. Percent. The chance of a healthy child, the pain in his voice was palpable. 1. No more, the geneticist replied, looking down. After that, Ethan became different. He considered himself flawed, defective. He turned back to the bottle. Now he pitied not Clara, but himself. What kind of man was he? Unable to give his wife a child. He drank heavily, driving Clara away. Leave me, you'll find a normal man. You'll have children. With me, you'll only suffer. Clara cried but didn't leave. In the morning, she gave him hangover pills, went to work where she could forget, and in the evening, again his drunken monologues. It's unknown how it would have ended, but another misfortune struck, driving out one wedge with another. Ethan's parents died in a car accident. His father lost control on icy roads, both of them. This grief sobered Ethan. He saw himself from the outside, pathetic, debauched. His parents knew about his problems. They were saddened. Mom, Dad, rest in peace, he whispered at the funeral. Not a drop more. I won't dishonour our memory. And he kept his word. He returned to work, from which he had been fired for drinking. But the thought of a child gnawed at him, and at Clara too. One evening he suggested to her, Clara, cheat on me. The cup fell from Clara's hands, shattering on the floor. What are you saying? Were you drinking again? She whispered, paling. Not a drop. I'm serious. I know how much you want a child. I want one too. We can't. Yes, I pushed you away. I'm sorry. That was just emotions. But I can't without you. And I can't without you, darling, Clara sobbed, embracing him. Together, we are 2 halves. Together, my Clara. And we will continue to be together. Just find someone, get pregnant. I won't say a word. I don't need to know anything. I won't stop loving you. We'll raise our baby. Let's agree, Clara raised her head, looking into his eyes. I didn't hear anything. And don't you dare think that about me. I have never cheated on you and never will. I love you and only you. No children. So be it. We'll live together. Just the 2 of us. Ethan lowered his head. He had been waiting for these words. He was glad to hear them. And at the same time, it was unbearably painful. Why was it like this? 2 loving people together, but separated by this impossibility. Time passed. There were no more attempts to have a child. Clara started taking tranquilizers. Ethan found solace in work. That year was also difficult. Clara's father died. The farm went bankrupt. Ethan was left without a job. A new farmer appeared, paying pennies. Men headed north for shift work. Ethan also found an advertisement for tractor drivers. Clara supported his decision. She saw how he withered without work, how ashamed he was to live off her. Before he left, Clara shared unexpected news. She was pregnant again. How? Why? Ethan was bewildered. The pills. I stopped taking them, Clara confessed. My Clara, why? You know how this will end. Why torment yourself? Despair flooded his eyes. I can't help it. You yourself talked about the 1%. I believe it will work out for us. Ethan hugged her. Anxiety squeezed his chest. How could he go? Who would he leave her with? Clara insisted she would manage. Mrs. Eleanor would help. Go, don't worry, I'm strong, I'll manage. Oh, my poor dear, he smiled, holding her close. He told her 1,000 times to take care of herself. He begged Mrs. Eleanor to look after her daughter. Both women nodded, worried, remembering past losses. But there was also hope. What if? What if this was it? That 1%, Clara believed. Mrs. Eleanor supported her, and Ethan believed. 3 months later, he came back for a month. Clara was radiant. Pregnancy suited her. It would be a boy. They didn't talk about the name. Each of them prayed for that 1%. Then Ethan took Clara to the city. She was admitted to the hospital for 5 months before giving birth. The doctors at the perinatal centre were also worried. Ethan went back to his shift work. He called Clara every day. She was calm. The pregnancy was progressing normally. And then the hour arrived. Ethan felt that Clara had gone into labour. His heart pounded, anxiety washed over him. Clara's phone was silent. He called Mrs. Eleanor. I don't know anything yet, she sobbed into the phone. They said they took her to the delivery room. Almost a day, complete uncertainty. Then a text message came from Clara. Darling, our boy was born. Everything is fine. Ethan was ecstatic. Then he thought, why no details? No height, no weight. He tried calling. The phone was unavailable. Mrs. Eleanor didn't know more. Ethan barely got permission, rushed home. 2.5 days on the train. Mrs. Eleanor met him at the station. They're being discharged tomorrow. My Clara and the baby, she blurted out. Why isn't Clara saying anything? Her phone isn't answering? Ethan worried. Oh, something's wrong with her phone. Don't worry, everything's fine. I talked on the landline, her mother reassured him. Ethan slept off the journey, started his old car, threw in things for the discharge, and sped to the city. He would never forget that moment. Clara walked out into the waiting area with a baby in her arms, their son in a fancy envelope with a blue ribbon. Clara was exhausted, pale. She tried to smile, but the smile was crooked. Is everything okay? Ethan asked, kissing his wife. Yes, darling. Everything is fine. Clara nodded, burying her face in the envelope. Clara, what's wrong? Don't cry. Everything's fine, he hugged her, carefully took his son, looked at the little face, smiled. Sleeping. Leo. Leo. Clara was surprised. Yes, let's call him that. Leo. A beautiful name. I don't mind. Let it be Leo. Clara agreed. They drove home without incident. Their son was calm, and he never caused any trouble. He grew healthy and strong. For the first year, Clara and Ethan practically lived by the crib, listening to see if he was breathing. Echoes of past losses. But everything turned out all right. The doctors were unanimous. The baby was completely healthy. Our 1%, Ethan said happily, looking at his sleeping son. Leo, my darling. He loved him unspeakably, and Clara was happy. She was a mother. Leo grew. He walked at 1, babbled at 2. His parents wondered who he resembled more, blue eyes like Ethan's, a slightly upturned nose like Clara's, and his hair was slightly curly. Both parents had straight hair. You forgot about Grandpa, Mrs. Eleanor remembered. Your father's hair was a little curly. That's right, Clara laughed. Yes, son, you scraped a little from everywhere. Ethan laughed, picking up the baby, tossing and catching him. Leo burst into laughter, showing his strong teeth. They were truly happy. Ethan continued to go on shift work. He brought back good money. They bought a car, renovated the house. He bought Clara a fur coat. She scolded him. Why, she was on maternity leave. He laughed. His wife should be the most beautiful. And not without a fur coat, Clara chuckled. Even without a fur coat, you're the best. But in a fur coat, you have no equal, Ethan hugged her. They laughed. But fate was preparing a new test. Clara fell ill. Lethargy, headaches, nausea. At first, they blamed it on exhaustion from the baby. Then they thought of another pregnancy. No. Doctors sent her to the city. The diagnosis sounded like a sentence. Pancreatic tumour? Stage 3, maybe 4. Surgery was useless. Too late. The insidiousness of this tumour. It's unnoticeable in early stages. Chemo? Doctors honestly said there was little chance. Clara couldn't believe it. No. She was young, strong, healthy. She had a small son. How would he live without her? Then came the realization. She would die. She refused chemo. Why? Ethan yelled, returning from his shift. It's a chance. If you don't think of yourself, think of Leo. Of me? I need, Clara echoed. But there's nothing to be done. Chemo will only finish me off. I'll be in the hospital constantly, and the time I have left, I want to spend at home. With you. With my son. Ethan cried, holding her. Clara cried on his shoulder. For a month she was relatively well. Ethan thought the doctors were mistaken. Clara bustled around the house, played with her son. Then she suddenly weakened, took to her bed. Mrs. Eleanor moved in with them. Looked after Leo, cried secretly. She understood. Her daughter was leaving. Ethan didn't want to believe it. He stayed by her side until the end. That last evening he went up to Clara. She was lying there, seemed to be sleeping. Ethan adjusted the blanket, sat down beside her. Clara opened her eyes. Ethan, she whispered. Where's Leo? With Mom. He's asleep. You sleep too, dear. Ethan, I want to say... She tried to prop herself up. Gasped. Ethan put a pillow under her. Gave her something to drink. Rest, Clara. I'm leaving, she whispered again. Leo, don't hurt him, please. What are you saying? He's my son. Yes, your son. Ours, Clara whispered with a fading voice. She closed her eyes. Ethan didn't understand immediately. He thought she had fallen asleep. He touched her lips. There was no breath. After the funeral, Ethan was lost for a month. He got drunk twice. He stopped when he saw Leo's frightened eyes. The little boy didn't understand where his mother had gone. He often cried. Mrs. Eleanor held on with the last of her strength, but she didn't leave her grandson. Ethan, she said to her son-in-law one day, it's hard for you, but what about your son? All I do is wipe away tears. You're drinking, but he needs your attention, a father's attention. Ethan woke up. He pushed the pain inside. He started spending more time with his son. Played games. It got easier. And Leo stopped asking about his mother as often. He gradually forgot. Ethan went north again. He needed money. Mrs. Eleanor promised to look after his son. Go, she said. Work. And if you find another woman, know that I won't object. You loved Clara. But this is life. A man can't be alone for long. I don't need anyone but my son. Ethan stubbornly brushed her off. And it was true. In the north, he only worked. Women were there, but he didn't notice them. All his thoughts were of his son. When the foreman announced that the crew would be disbanded until February, Ethan was overjoyed. He bought a ticket first thing, to Leo. At the station, he saw it. A huge, white, plush animal. He was struck. This was the perfect gift. He'd earned well enough. He got home early in the morning. Mrs. Eleanor immediately bustled in the kitchen. Ethan peeked in on his son. He admired him. How much he had grown. Ah, Clara, if you could only see. He placed the bear beside the bed. Went to the kitchen. Hello. There's a holiday performance at the kindergarten today, Mrs. Eleanor said, making tea. You'll go, of course. Naturally, Ethan nodded. What time? At 12. Leo's so excited. He'll be a bunny. I sewed him a costume. Thank you, Ethan said sincerely. Without you, I don't know. How else, Ethan? Leo is all that's left of my Clara. As long as I breathe, I'm with you. But remember my words. If you find a woman, I won't object. Just one who will love our Leo, who won't hurt him. Mrs. Eleanor, I've already told you, I don't need anyone. We'll see, she sighed. And then, from the bedroom, came a startled cry, a shout, then tears. Ethan and Mrs. Eleanor rushed to their son. Leo was sitting in bed, pressed against the wall, looking at the bear with frightened eyes. "Dad!" the little boy cried out, seeing him. "You're here! Who is that?" "Son, it's a toy, a bear. Did it scare you?" Ethan hugged his son, kissed him. "I'm sorry, I didn't think. I thought you'd be happy. Look how big it is." "I wasn't scared." Leo shook his head desperately. "I was surprised. I was falling asleep and nobody was here, and then it was standing there." "Well, Father Frost brought it." Ethan smiled, improvising. "I was on the train and he came in and said, 'Give this to little Leo, he's been a good boy. Here's a big toy for him.'" "Did he give anything else?" Leo blinked. "What else?" Ethan was flustered. "Well, maybe regards from Mummy. I want to see her so much. I dreamt of her today." Ethan didn't answer. He held his son tighter. What could he say? Bringing his mother back was beyond even Father Frost's power. "She only comes to us in our dreams now," he whispered. He shook himself, smiled, sat his son on his lap. "It's your party today. Time to get ready." "Yeah," Leo smiled. "Time. I'll be a bunny there." "Wow, how cool. What's so good about it?" Leo suddenly scowled. "I wanted to be a wolf, but Alex will be the wolf." "Well, a wolf is mean, and a bunny is kind." Ethan was surprised. "Your role is definitely better." "You think so?" the boy asked doubtfully. And then he remembered something else. "And they told us a new boy will come to the party today. Where is he from?" "Ah, yes," Mrs. Eleanor remembered. "A new worker came to the club. A drama instructor or something. The previous one ran off before the holidays. They say she ran off to the city with her lover. And there's so much work at the club now. The director went to the district centre, asked for help, so they sent this girl. Is she from the city? Her grandmother lives in the district centre. She agreed to come here, and they gave her a room at the club until spring. It has central heating. She's alone with a child, so her son will come today. We haven't seen him yet. The village council told us we have an addition. She brought her little boy from the district centre just yesterday evening." Ethan listened half-heartedly. He wasn't interested in the arriving drama instructor. He was thinking about his son. All the other children would come with their mothers. Leo would see that. He would remember Clara. Just let him not cry. It would be all right. Somehow. He and Mrs. Eleanor would keep him busy. Half an hour before the party, they were at the kindergarten. Leo obediently put on his bunny costume. Mrs. Eleanor helped. Ethan was nearby, like other parents. The kids ran into the hall. The teacher, Miss Peterson, gathered them, giving final instructions. The adults took their seats. "Where's the new boy?" Someone suddenly remembered. "Haven't seen him." "True, they're all ours," others confirmed. They shrugged. A young, attractive woman peeked into the hall. "Haven't you started yet?" She smiled apologetically. "We're a little late. There was a school party. I helped there. I'll change Ben now. 5 minutes." She hurried to the changing room. Everyone understood. This was the one. The new worker. "I think her name is Lily," one whispered. "Alone with a child. A boy, 4 years old." "Alone?" another asked anxiously, looking suspiciously at the door. "And how is she in behaviour?" "Who knows?" others chuckled in response. "We'll see, but you need to hold on to your men tighter. Look how shapely she is." "Ethan, take a look," old Nina, a neighbour, winked. "You're the only one available." "I'm perfectly fine," Ethan replied gruffly. No one else dared to speak. Mrs. Eleanor lowered her eyes, remembering her daughter. Old Nina realised what she had blurted out, scowled, and fell silent. Music started playing. The teachers seated the children. The participants of the performance, including Leo, were led out into the corridor. A funny line of bunnies, mice, little foxes. Parents smiled, and then Lily, with her son, fluttered into the hall. The assistant teacher, Mrs. Miller, took Ben's hand, smiled, and for a second was taken aback. She looked around in confusion at the parents, at Ethan, it seemed to him. Then she led the child to a free chair. The mothers were looking at Lily with curiosity, but they didn't notice the boy right away. Ethan sat as if struck by lightning. A boy had entered the hall who looked exactly like Leo, like two peas in a pod. He thought for a second it was his son. The same blue eyes, a slightly upturned nose, only the hair. Leo's hair was short, slightly curly on top. This boy had a mop of flaxen curls framing his face like a cap. Mrs. Eleanor sat in bewilderment. Ethan, I don't understand. Maybe there's something wrong with my eyes. That boy looks so much like our Leo. Maybe there's something wrong with my eyes, he replied quietly. He looked at Lily. She sat calmly, smiling at her son, waving. He smiled back. Some parents finally noticed the boy too. Ethan, how much that boy looks like your Leo, old Nina whispered. Is he yours? Don't be silly, Ethan hissed. He was on edge. He wanted to jump up and find out everything from this Lily, but that would be foolish. He sat tense, his eyes fixed on the boy. Many parents also glanced at Ben, at his mother, at Ethan. They whispered. The performance began. Everyone was distracted. Baba Yaga circled around the tree. Children performed scenes. Father Frost and the Snow Maiden appeared. Poems, songs. Leo had a blast. He felt comfortable in his bunny costume. Nothing bothered him. Then all the children went to do a round dance. The new boy too. By chance he stood next to Leo. They held hands. They started singing. A little fir tree was born in the forest. Leo, apparently feeling uncomfortable singing, lifted his mask onto his forehead. All eyes in the hall turned back to the two little boys. Leo and Ben looked like two peas in a pod. Ethan looked at them. He shifted his gaze from his son to his neighbour. Then he looked at Lily. By her pale face, he understood. There was a secret he didn't know about. After the party, parents and children were heading home. The kids were happy. The parents were pleased. Only many cast curious glances at Ethan with Leo, then at Lily with Ben. Mrs. Eleanor, as if shielding her grandson, stood nearby, helping Leo. Lily, without looking at anyone, quickly dressed her son. Ethan pretended that nothing was happening. He decided to talk later, without witnesses, with this stranger. On the way home, Leo chatted non-stop. It was a great party, he said excitedly. Father Frost is so kind. He gave so many candies. And the new boy. Did you see him? His name is Ben. We met in the round dance. He gave me a lollipop, and I gave him gum. He reminds me of someone. I don't know who. His father and grandmother listened in silence. Each of them was thinking about the same thing. At home, Mrs. Eleanor started first. Maybe that boy is a double? They say that happens. Mrs. Eleanor, do you believe in that? Ethan shook his head. I don't believe in such fairy tales. And did you see Lily's face? She went completely pale. She got scared of something. I don't understand anything. Leo is ours. Ours. Clara gave birth to him. And maybe she had twins, and the doctors didn't notice? She asked sarcastically. I understand that could have happened at the beginning of the 20th century. Not now. Clara was carrying one child. You're right. Then how do you explain everything? Mrs. Eleanor looked in despair at the next room, where Leo was sorting through his treat bag. Leo is my grandson. And my son, Ethan said firmly. And I'm going to go to this and find out everything. He rushed out of the house, throwing on his jacket. He almost ran to the club. He paid no attention to passers-by. The whole village was already buzzing. Ethan, it turned out, had cheated on Clara and had a child with her, and now she had come. I would never have thought it, the old women whispered. He seemed respectable. He carried Clara on his hands, but he's the same as everyone else. And she must have found out Clara died and rushed here. No shame, no conscience. Poor Mrs. Eleanor. How must she feel now? And the children? 2 brothers, it turns out. In the village, everything had already been decided. Ethan was guilty. Lily was not a good woman. They made predictions. Mrs. Eleanor would now curse her son-in-law. She would take Ben back to her, and they would paint Lily's door with tar. But where would they get it? And the head of the village council would be unhappy. Why did he let her in? That's what you get for welcoming people without knowing them. Meanwhile, in the small room at the club, Lily was frantically stuffing things into a suitcase. Little Ben watched his mother with surprise. "Mom, I don't want to leave," he babbled, barely holding back tears. "I liked it here. The kids, the tree. Father Frost gave me a gift." "Son, we can't stay here," she said, almost crying herself. "It will be bad for us here. There's a bus now. In 2 hours, we'll go back to Grandma Martha again, to the district centre." "I don't want to go to Grandma Martha," the little boy wailed. "She scolds. And she hits me. She pulled my ear. You'll have to bear it, little one." Lily hugged her son. "It won't be for long. We'll go to the city. I'll call Chloe. She'll take us in." "I don't want to leave here." Lily was on the verge of tears. She held on with her last strength, but she knew she had to run. Unexpectedly, there was a sharp knock. Lily flinched. The door opened. The man from the morning party stood on the threshold, the father of that boy. "Good day," he said. "I'm Ethan. We need to talk." "Hello," she said, in a lowered voice. "Please don't worry that we'll be leaving soon. You and your wife don't need to worry about anything. My wife died." "What? Clara is gone," Lily mumbled, flustered. "No! Who the hell are you?" Ethan exclaimed. "How do you know my wife? And how do you explain that our sons look exactly alike?" Lily turned to her son. She looked pleadingly at Ethan. "I'll explain everything, just so the child doesn't hear. Let's go into the auditorium." She turned back to her son. "Ben, Sunshine, you play here. Draw. Eat some candies. I'll talk to the gentleman and be right back." Ben nodded sadly. He was worried that he would soon go back to mean Grandma Martha. Ethan and Lily went into the hall. Ethan sat down. Lily stood, gathering her thoughts. She didn't know where to start. This was her secret. She had lived with it for years. It had been unbearable. And today, seeing Leo, her heart tightened as if bound by chains. She had to talk. "How do you know my wife?" Ethan repeated. "We were together at the maternity hospital," she said, paling. "And you took our second child?" Ethan couldn't believe what he was saying, but there was no other explanation. "I didn't take anyone," she whispered. "I gave one of my sons to your wife. Clara had a stillborn baby then." "What?" Ethan exclaimed. "That can't be. Leo is my son. I don't believe you." "But it is true. I'll tell you my story, and you decide whether it's true or not." And Lily told her story, without unnecessary details. The story was long and sad. The orphanage, the College of Arts, work at the community centre, the influential sponsor, Mr. Caldwell, his annoying advances, refusals, kidnapping, a luxurious house, violence, threats, his well-fed, shiny face, the feeling of dirt, diamonds, flowers from the banker, Chloe's envy. The end of the relationship when Mr. Caldwell's wife, Penelope, appeared. Lily was even happy. Relief. She sold the gifted jewellery. He demanded it back. She sent him away. She felt brave. But she was too soon to rejoice. Nausea. Pregnancy. Chloe advises a clinic. Appendicitis inflammation. Hospital. Surgery. It was too late to terminate. She had to give birth. But why? Who needed this child? Feeling bolder, she went to Mr. Caldwell. She told him. He smirked in her face. "You're a grown girl. Decide for yourself." "I'm not interested." "But it's your child. Why should I believe you? Who are you? A little mongrel from the street. Don't you dare come to respectable people with your bastard." And he left. Lily stood there crushed. No one would help. She would have to manage alone. A week later, Mr. Caldwell's wife, Penelope, arrived. "I heard from my husband you're planning to give birth to his child. You're foolish. You know he won't acknowledge him. I'm not asking for anything. Not from him, not from you. You're brave now. Your puppy will be born. You'll sing a different tune." Through clenched teeth. "Get out of the city in 3 days, or you'll regret being born." Lily wasn't scared. She looked at her calmly. "Or else," the woman hissed. She left, slamming the door. Lily didn't take the threats seriously, but that night, 3 masked men burst into her room. They dragged her out of bed, forced her to sign some papers. She didn't understand what. In the morning, new owners, sales documents. The police refused to listen. She found herself on the street, alone, pregnant, without money, without a job. Chloe helped, took her in. What next? And then, new, shocking news. "You're having twins," the doctor said. "Twins?" in tears. "How? Why? I can't." "You can. You won't even have to give birth yourself. Cesarean. You'll wake up and you'll have 2 babies. Lily walked from the hospital, not seeing the road. How could she have gotten into such a mess? From a scoundrel, and with twins. "Don't be scared, friend," Chloe reassured her. "We'll get through this. It's easy for you to say, 'What should I do? Where should I live?' With 2 kids, I can't inconvenience you forever." "Leave them at the maternity hospital," Chloe advised. "Are you serious?" Lily's mouth fell open. "Well, what else can you do? Think about it. Do you need them? No. If they were from a man you loved, but from a complete cad." "But they're my children, Chloe. I grew up in an orphanage myself. I don't want that fate for my children." "So what? Was it bad there?" "Everything was provided. They even gave you housing." "Which I lost," Lily said thoughtfully. "It's all right. When you give birth, leave them at the maternity hospital. A new life. Everything will work out. You'll forget it like a bad dream." Lily understood that Chloe was right. Why did she need these children? Their father. She shuddered every time she remembered the banker. No, nothing should connect them. She decided to leave them at the maternity hospital. But time passed. Her belly grew. A mother's instinct awakened. Stroking her belly, she smiled when the babies moved. It wasn't painful. It was pleasant. Butterflies. 2 beautiful boys, the doctor said during the ultrasound. Boys. Her 2 little sons. She wouldn't give them to anyone. By the time of the birth, she decided, she would turn the world upside down, but she would raise her babies herself. They wouldn't be in an orphanage. She didn't tell Chloe anything. Later, a week before the cesarean, she was admitted to the hospital. There she met Clara. She was also in her final days. Very worried. "This is my 4th child," Clara confessed. "You have such a big family." Lily was surprised. "Unfortunately, no," with bitterness, and Clara told her story. "This time everything will be fine," Lily encouraged her. Clara just nodded. She was afraid of jinxing it. One day they were both taken away. Lily, for surgery. Clara, with contractions. When Lily was transferred from intensive care, her roommate was Clara. She lay with her face to the wall, crying. Lily looked with anxiety. She understood everything. "Is it bad?" she asked softly. "Couldn't be worse," Clara sobbed. "He didn't make it. My little son. He just took one breath and died. How could it be? I prayed to God." "My dear Clara, don't cry," Lily said, wincing in pain, turning. "Everything will work out." "Nothing will work out. This is the 4th child I'm mourning. Do you understand? The 4th. It's terrible to tell my husband, my mother. They're waiting, hoping. And he, my little one, is already in the morgue. It's so scary." "It's not Ethan I feel sorry for," Clara said, sobbing. "He wants to be a father so much, but it doesn't work out. The problem is with him. But I'll never leave, never betray him. And to tell him again that the child didn't make it. He used to lash out, drank, feeling inadequate, And here it is again. I'm strong. I'll manage. I'm afraid for Ethan. Lily listened. A plan formed in her head. She had given birth to 2 healthy babies. She hadn't seen them yet, but the doctor said they were healthy. How could she manage alone with 2? Without housing? Without money? I'll give you one of mine, she said hoarsely. Will you take him? What are you saying? Clara gasped. Understand, it will be hard for me alone. I'm living with Chloe, on sovereigns. She advised me to give them to an orphanage. But I can't. They are my flesh and blood. How could I put them in an orphanage? Like puppies. With 1, Chloe might still take me in. But with 2, probably not. Then I might as well jump into the abyss. You are a good person. And your husband? He seems decent from your stories. My boy will be good with you. Well, do you agree? I don't know, Clara whispered, flustered. They didn't sleep all night. One wondered if she could accept someone else's child. The other, if she could give away her own flesh and blood. Would her heart burst? Towards morning, Clara called out to Lily. Are you asleep? No, she replied shortly. I've decided. I'll take your boy. But let's make sure no one knows anything. Neither your family nor mine. To my husband and mother, I gave birth to a healthy child. Yes, I agree. Only the doctor... We need to convince him to change the children's documents. Is that difficult? But it's possible. Lily remembered the diamond ring. A gift from Mr. Caldwell. She hadn't pawned it. When he demanded it, she couldn't find it. It had rolled under the lining of her bag. She found it later. Now it would come in handy. Do you understand what you are asking me? The doctor cried out. Okay, Lily is young, foolish. But you, Clara, you're a medic. You understand. This is impossible. I understand. And you understand me. I want to be a mother. I'm tired of mourning my children. This is a chance. Then go to an orphanage, take a baby. The doctor shook his head. No, I can't. And I am abandoning my children, Lily suddenly said loudly. Lily, are you out of your mind? 2 beautiful boys. How can you? The doctor stared at her in bewilderment. I can't raise them alone, 2 of them. Please, don't let me do something irreparable. I'll take one. And give the second to Clara. She's good. My boy will be in good hands. She walked up to the desk, placed the ring on it. Without saying anything, she left. Clara followed her out. Both were in pain. Did it not work out? An hour later, the door burst open. The nurse brought in 2 bundles. Well, mommies, take your babies, she said cheerfully. She looked at the tags. 1, the other. She handed a baby to Clara and Lily. The women stared in confusion. Then at the child. A moment later, each was feeding her own baby. He looks like me, Lily smiled, looking at the sleeping infant. The smile faded. She looked at the child in Clara's arms. Clara understood. She held the baby tighter. You promised, she said, paling. I remember. I wanted to see what he looked like. Don't, Clara pleaded. Let him be my son. Yes, you're right. He is your son, Lily whispered. She closed her eyes. A tear rolled down, and so she never saw her second boy. By evening, they were moved to different rooms. The doctor had decided. Why force them to suffer even more? He had helped as much as he could anyway. When Clara was discharged, Lily was still there. She stood by the window. She saw Clara walking towards the car with her second son. A tall man was beside her, smiling happily, saying something to Clara. They got into the old car. They drove away. Where? Lily didn't know. Clara hadn't said where she was from, only that she lived somewhere in the region, and she didn't need to know. The second boy would be happy in another family, and she would raise this one. The doctor approached quietly. He was also watching them go. No regrets? He asked softly. Lily flinched. No. Clara will be a good mother. I hope so. Girls, did we do the right thing? He sighed. He took out the ring. Take it. You need it more. and he left. Lily looked after him with gratitude. What a good doctor! Chloe came to pick up Lily. She was a little stunned. Lily decided to keep the child. Deep down, she approved. During that time, she had thought a lot herself, imagined herself in Lily's place. She understood. Giving up a child. At least it's just one, Chloe thought. She comforted her friend and was surprised at how calmly Lily reacted to the death of the second baby. Chloe decided. Lily was even glad. In her situation, it was the best option. Ben was growing up, calm, affectionate, healthy. Lily was surprised to realise she didn't see him as Mr. Caldwell's child at all. He was only her baby. She did everything to ensure he lacked nothing. At 6 months, she started working. She hosted parties and corporate events. Ben was with Chloe. Her friend turned out to be good, but she had her own life. She never reproached her. Lily understood. She had to solve the housing problem. At 1 year old, she enrolled Ben in a 5-day daycare. She started working twice, 3 times as much. She took orders. She came to Chloe's place and collapsed from exhaustion. But she had to work, so that Ben wouldn't lack anything. Then she realised, at this pace, the baby was growing up abandoned. Who needed him at the 5-day daycare? And weekends? She had to leave again. For weddings, birthdays. There was no other way. She was fired from the community centre where she used to work by a call from an influential person. Lily didn't even ask why. She knew Mr. Caldwell or his wife. She lived at a frantic pace, constant guilt. But one day, everything changed. Chloe's aunt in a district centre far from the regional capital fell ill. She's grumpy, Chloe said, but my mother owes her. And she's still a sister. She used to give money. And now she can barely walk around the house. No children, no husband, not even a cat. She's mean as hell. She asked my mother to look after her. How? Mum and Dad moved away from there. The aunt doesn't want to move in with them. She chases away the social worker. Mum is crying. I was thinking, what if you go there? There's a kindergarten there, and a new club. The aunt, though grumpy, isn't a Baba Yaga. She'll take you in. You'll have a place to live, and you'll find work. And most importantly, you'll look after the aunt. She won't let us in, Lily doubted. We're strangers to her. That's my problem. I'll persuade her. I'll tell her I'll put her in a nursing home, Chloe winked. The main thing is you agree. Perhaps. Yes, I agree, Lily shrugged. There weren't many options, and she was so tired of this. Ben was constantly crying at daycare. It was hard for 5 days without his mother. Exactly, it's settled. I'll call my aunt, Chloe said happily. It's unknown how Chloe persuaded Martha Petrovna, but she agreed. She grumbled. It's true. A woman with a child. But then she fell silent when she heard about the nursing home for the elderly. And so, Lily and Ben were on the train. The boy was happy. Would he really see his mother every day now? You really won't send me to 5-day daycare, he would sometimes ask quickly, whispering, for the 100th time. No, my little one. Never again, Lily assured him. She hugged her son. She thought that despite everything, she was happy. She had her little boy, her meaning, her joy, her hope. Everything would work out for them. Did she think about the second child? Sometimes the pain in her chest would echo. But Lily forbade herself memories. The second son didn't survive then. Period. They got off at a small station. After the huge city, the silence was deafening. The little houses, the narrow streets amazed her. But it was just unfamiliarity, a typical district centre. On the right street they found a wooden house, with carved shutters, an iron fence. Martha Petrovna lived here. She opened the door, about 70 years old, full-bodied, with a displeased face. Lily noted to herself. She wasn't so helpless after all. She moved around quite well. Did Lucy send you? She eyed her. Well, all right, stay for now. We'll see. That's your room. Settle in. Tell your boy not to run on the floor. Not to yell. He should sit in the room, that's all. And listen, don't you sit around for long. It's time to stoke the stove. To cook. Come on, Get moving, she said, commandingly. She went into the living room, turned the TV up full blast. Ben wanted to sleep after the journey, but how could he sleep here? All right, son, be patient. You'll go to kindergarten. It will be good there. You'll sleep well, Lily whispered. Mom, you promised! Ben pulled back with tears in his eyes. You said you wouldn't send me to 5-day daycare. It's not 5-day daycare, Lily assured him. I'll pick you up every evening. Here, this is our home now. Really? You promise? He asked distrustfully. I promise, Lily smiled. I just need to find this kindergarten. And now be quieter. Don't bother, Grandma. The boy nodded. The room was cramped. A bed, a creaky wardrobe, a 3-legged table, a small window. But it was happiness, her own corner. Lily quickly unpacked her things. She went to do chores. Only she didn't know how to stoke the stove. Oh, how Martha Petrovna lectured her. Clumsy and useless. Why did she listen to Lucy anyway? Lily listened in silence. Watched Martha Petrovna handle the stove. She understood the first time. She cooked borscht. It was delicious. Martha Petrovna ate 2 servings. Ben also ate well. Lily was so tired, she just pecked at it. You're fine, you eat normally, Martha Petrovna said. But your boy eats like a horse. He'll eat me out of house and home. Oh, please don't be offended, Lily said, embarrassed. He's small. He was hungry from the journey. Don't worry. I'll buy groceries with my own money. I'll go to work. Ben will go to kindergarten. We won't bother you. I don't understand, Martha Petrovna said, confused. What do you mean, work, and look after me? I'll manage everything. In the morning, I'll be a caregiver, I'll cook, and I'll come back in the evening. Didn't Lucy tell you that? She did, she grumbled. Why the devil did I take in strangers? That Lucy is a plague. And muttering something else, she went to her room. Mommy, I'm scared of her, Ben whispered. Don't be afraid, little one. Grandma is good. She just grumbles. Lily smiled. She felt anxious. The old woman was very inhospitable. The next day, she went to the community centre, then to the kindergarten. At the community centre, they offered her a job as a cleaner. For pennies. Nobody else would take it. And she also had to work in the cloakroom for free in the evenings. They promised to take Ben into the kindergarten. Only registration was needed. Where to get it? A vicious circle. She decided to take her son to work with her. As a cleaner, so be it. It wasn't what she dreamed of. But that's how it turned out. A new life began. She woke up at 5, made breakfast for the landlady, stoked the stove, ran to the club. While her son was sleeping, cleaned. She came back around noon. Ben was in the room, drawing, playing with cars, only quietly. Lily taught him not to bother Grandma. She did chores until evening, then back to work, with Ben. They often returned after midnight. The director of the club, Sarah, turned a blind eye. She saw that the girl was trying. She had an education, a colleague herself. Lily, be patient, Sarah would say. As soon as the position opens up, I'll get you in, and I'll get you a spot in the kindergarten. A month or 2. Lily smiled gratefully, and so she lived. In November, it became difficult to haul Ben around in the evenings. It was cold. She decided to talk to Martha Petrovna. He won't bother you. He'll sit in the room. And that's all. All right, let him stay, the old woman relented. Everything suited her. Warm, clean, tasty food. And the boy. She'd keep him in line. She started leaving Ben. At first, she didn't notice anything. Then she realised. The boy had become timid. One day she saw bruises on his arm. It turned out the old woman was punishing him. For every unnecessary step, she would pull his ear, slap him. One day Ben got carried away playing. He went into her room, climbed onto the bed. The old woman pinched his hand. Several times. For minor, as she saw it, misdemeanours, Ben told her afterwards. Why didn't you say anything, she asked, almost crying. I was afraid to upset you. with an unchildlike seriousness. "It's hard enough for you already." Lily had a big fight with Martha Petrovna then. The old woman's answer was always the same. "If you don't like it, leave." And then she seemed to get lucky. In one of the villages, before the new year, a position for a drama instructor opened up. She would have to live at the club. "Will you go?" Sarah asked. "I'll go," Lily said decisively. She called Chloe, explained. About the aunt. Apologised. "Don't apologise, friend," Chloe sighed. "I'm the one who should apologise. Let her live however she wants now. I think she's just faking it." "Yes," Lily agreed. "Even more so. She'll manage alone." "Uh-huh," Chloe chuckled. The next day, Lily and Ben left. Oh, how Martha Petrovna cursed after them. Ungrateful. Lived like a queen. She was more upset about the free help, and the tenant paid her rent. Lily liked the village. The streets were straight. Many new houses. The people were friendly. The club director, Sarah, brought her old furniture into the room. She ran to the kindergarten herself. She arranged for the new employee's son to be accepted. "Let him go to the Christmas party tomorrow," Sarah announced. She lingered on Ben. "What a cute boy you have. Does he look like you?" "Yes," Lily smiled. "There's a resemblance." "He reminds me of someone else too," Sarah mused. "Oh, well, all children resemble someone." "That's for sure," Lily laughed. "Thank you, Sarah, for everything, for sheltering us, for helping us." "Any time," Sarah winked. She hurried away, and so the next day Lily went to the Christmas party at the kindergarten with her son. And that's where the encounter happened. Of course, she didn't tell Ethan her life story in detail, just that she ended up on the street, pregnant with twins, how she met Clara, and decided to take such a step, how she wanted to start a new life in a new place. "We'll leave with Ben," she said, wiping away tears. "I won't disrupt your life. We'll pack up for the bus now and leave." "Where?" Ethan's voice trembled. "That's running away." "It is running away," Lily whispered. "But there's no other way. People will talk. They saw how alike the boys are." "I think people are already talking," Ethan said with a wry smile. He thought, was Leo not his biological son? He couldn't believe it. He remembered Clara. From the maternity hospital. Lost. Upset. How she looked at him. Did she want to say something? Before she died, she clearly wanted to confess. She didn't dare, or didn't have time. The thought burned, but the pain was worse from something else. Ethan sat with his head bowed. Lily stood opposite him, leaning against the wall, crying, remembering her life. Nothing had gone right. She felt sorry for Ben. Where would they go? On the eve of the new year. To the city? Chloe would take them in. But she had her own life. A man had appeared. Ben had suffered enough with Martha Petrovna. There was nowhere else to go. She would have to go back to Martha Petrovna. If only she would take them in. Ben peeked into the hall. He looked at his crying mother with surprise. At the sad gentleman. "Mommy, I want to eat," he said plaintively. "Oh, yes, son," Lily started. "I'll go to the store now. Buy some sausage, with eggs. We'll fry it quickly. We have a bus soon." She rushed to leave. Ethan stopped her. "The store is closed," he said. He stood up, walked over to Lily, looked into her eyes. "But where are you going? This looks like running away." "It is running away," Lily whispered. "But there's no other way." "Well, come over to our place," Ethan suddenly suggested. "Mrs. Eleanor was planning to make borscht today." Lily was flustered. "But how?" Ethan took her hand, looked into her eyes. "Don't you want to see him? To spend time with him?" Lily lowered her head. She knew who he meant. She desperately wanted to see her Leo, to see how he was living, to hug him. But could she? She had made her choice once. "I really do," she whispered. "Then let's go," he said a little abruptly. "Stop thinking. Your son is hungry." He had unconsciously switched to the informal you. They walked through the village, ignoring the gossips, some from windows, some from yards. Rumours were buzzing. Ethan didn't care. One thought was in his head. Was this right, letting Lily see Leo? And yet, Leo was his son, even if not biologically. Ethan was raising him. He wouldn't give him up to anyone. Would he regret it? This impulsive decision? And Mrs. Eleanor? She didn't know anything yet. In the hallway, Mrs. Eleanor met them, looking confused. At the guests, at Ethan. Lily stood hesitantly, holding Ben. The boy looked around curiously. A new house, a kind old woman. She wasn't like mean Grandma Martha. Ethan? Explain, she said, bewildered. Who are these guests? This is Lily, and her son Ben, he introduced them. Mrs. Eleanor, the boy is hungry. He should eat. And Lily probably. No, I'm on a diet. Lily shook her head. Ethan waved his hand. He wasn't accepting excuses. Mom, feed them, he said softly. Mrs. Eleanor was surprised. Ethan treated her well, but he didn't call her Mom, and now it just slipped out. What had happened? All right, everyone, wash your hands and come to the table, she commanded. She went to the kitchen. Soon Leo joined them. Seeing Ben, he was happy. Hi, did you come to visit us? Ben nodded. He was a little shy. Leo, come to the table too, Mrs. Eleanor called out. The boys ate with appetite, then ran off to Leo's room. They busied themselves with the bear. They rolled it around, tried to climb on it, laughed. They became friends right away. The adults were in the kitchen, listening to the noise. No one dared to start the conversation. Ethan, I'm listening, Mrs. Eleanor finally said. I don't know how to say it. Ethan shook his head. Just say it, she almost shouted. I don't understand anything. Ben is a spitting image of Leo. Did Clara really leave one baby at the maternity hospital? No, I can't believe it. It's not like that, Lily decided. I gave birth to Leo. And to Ben too. They are twins. Mrs. Eleanor turned pale. She clutched her heart. Shock. So, her daughter. She looked around at everyone, and Lily spoke. And she spoke. Clara meant well. Understand. She wasn't thinking about herself at the maternity hospital then. She was scared to imagine how you would react. She worried so much about Ethan. She couldn't tell you that she had lost another child. And then there was me. Healthy twins. And she should have been happy. But I couldn't be. I had nowhere to go. No money to raise them. I couldn't give them to an orphanage. I grew up there myself. I know it's not easy. I came up with everything. I suggested it to Clara. Then I talked to the doctor. And God is my witness. I would never have appeared in your lives, but circumstances aligned. By unknown paths I found myself in your village. 2 brothers met. So maybe it's a good thing they saw each other while they are small. Now they will know each other. I don't understand. What are you getting at? Ethan was surprised. To the point that blood brothers should grow up together. Ethan froze. What was she saying? Did she want him to hand Leo over to Lily with his own hands? Mrs. Eleanor understood from his look. She waved her hands. No! I won't give Leo to anyone myself. But there's a second boy. Ben. He's just like him. Exactly like my grandson. I won't be able to sleep peacefully knowing he's wandering somewhere. Mrs. Eleanor voiced Ethan's thoughts. He listened, remained silent. I think Lily, she's not a bad girl, Ethan. What if you get together with her? Mrs. Eleanor, I don't need anyone but Clara. I only loved her. And I still do. My daughter can't be brought back. But Leo needs a mother, she sighed. Think about it. Ethan shook his head. He went out into the yard. Dawn was breaking. He opened the gate, stepped onto the street. People were hurrying past towards the bus. The stop was about 50 yards away. Ethan could make out the figure of a woman with a child. A large bag beside them. It was Lily. With Ben. Ethan quickened his pace. He walked towards Lily, not fully realizing what he was doing. Seeing him, Lily stumbled. Sleepy Ben clung to his mother. Ethan walked up. said hello. About 10 people were at the stop, watching with curiosity. He silently took Lily's bag. "Come home with us," he said quietly. "Why?" Lily's voice trembled. "To live. Just live. And raise our sons," Ethan said clearly. The people at the stop froze. What a movie! But Lily and Ethan paid no attention to outsiders. They stood there, looking at each other in silence. Headlights flashed. The bus arrived. People started to stir. Only these two continued to stand. "Mommy!" Ben's voice. "We're not going anywhere." There was so much hope in the child's voice. "You're not going anywhere," Ethan answered for her. He picked up the boy with his free hand. With the other, he tightly gripped the bag. He walked towards his yard. After a slight pause, Lily followed him. And the people from the bus watched, discussed, guessed. Whose boys were they? They celebrated that new year as a noisy, friendly company. Ethan, Lily, Leo, Ben, and Mrs. Eleanor. The boys were happy that they were living together now. Lily felt awkward. It was unfamiliar. In a new house. With Ethan. With Mrs. Eleanor. Who was she here? Why? Only looking at her sons, her face lit up with a smile. She kissed them in turn. First Leo, then Ben. And she understood. This was happiness. They were running, shouting, laughing, and there were two of them. Her two flesh and blood. Leo surprisingly easily connected with Lily. In a quiet moment he whispered, "Grandma, will Auntie Lily live with us? For sure." Mrs. Eleanor nodded. "And if I call her Mommy? Will my Mommy Clara be upset?" Worry in the little boy's voice. "It's just that Ben calls her Mommy, and I want to so much." "Mommy Clara won't be upset," his grandmother assured him. And Leo rushed off. To Lily. He hung on her neck. "Mommy!" he cried. "Mommy!" Ben froze for a second. Surprised. Then he too rushed to hug Lily. And she, embracing both of them, laughed and cried. Ethan looked at them, thoughtfully. Mrs. Eleanor was right. Life goes on. Maybe everything will work out. For him. With Lily. A month later, Ethan went back to his shift work. He and Lily had a friendly relationship. She called, talked about the boys, about her work at the club. She liked it. The people, who had initially met her with caution, gravitated towards her, to the clubs, to rehearsals. Leo and Ben went to kindergarten. No one was surprised by their resemblance anymore. You can't keep a secret in a village. Everyone knew. They said many things, different things, but in the end they agreed. Whatever happens is for the best. 3 months later, Ethan returned and stayed home. He was offered a job driving the head of the village council. He was tired of shift work, and he missed them, his boys. Now he considered himself having 2 sons. How else? They were so alike. Even their hairstyles. Only Ethan, Lily, and Mrs. Eleanor could tell them apart without fail. Leo was bolder, a bit cheeky, and Ben more cautious. Otherwise you couldn't tell them apart. But still, just friends, though in the same house. With each passing day they understood. There was an attraction. Ethan was held back by the memory of Clara. Lily was shy. She hadn't known true love. One day in August at the end of summer, they went to the forest mushroom picking. The kids were playing in a clearing with Mrs. Eleanor. Ethan went one way, Lily another. Suddenly Ethan heard a scream. He rushed over. "There's a wolf!" Lily cried, pointing into the thicket. "A wolf?" Ethan was surprised. "They don't live here." "Who is it then?" "It's there." "It's grey." An enormous hare jumped out of the bushes, frightened. It dashed away. "A hare!" Lily laughed. She blushed. "Oh, you little coward!" Ethan smiled. Unexpectedly, he hugged her, kissed her. Lily flinched, but she didn't push him away. She timidly responded. "How grateful I am to that hare," he whispered. "For what?" Lily was surprised. "If it weren't for him, I would have been afraid to kiss you for another 1,000 years." And they kissed again. From a distance, the boys were watching them. They exchanged glances. "Mommy and Daddy are kissing." Mrs. Eleanor was also watching, and smiling. Finally. They would be happy, and she had no resentment towards Ethan. He deserved to live this life happily, for himself, and for her daughter. In November, Lily and Ethan got married. They became a real family. A month later, Lily realised she was expecting. Ethan was upset. "Lily, my dear, you shouldn't remember. As fate wills it," she said stubbornly. She wouldn't judge the unborn. The pregnancy was easy. The closer to the birth, the more worried Ethan became. Mrs. Eleanor, too. Would it happen again? Only Lily was calm. She worked at the club until the end. 2 weeks before giving birth, Ethan took her to the city, to the maternity hospital. The doctors insisted, knowing the situation. Lily called early in the morning. "We had a daughter," she whispered into the phone. "A daughter?" Ethan woke up instantly. "Lily, why are you whispering?" "She's sleeping. Our little one. Right here. Everything is fine. Everything is all right. 3,300 grams, 52 centimetres. Ethan couldn't believe it. A miracle. That 1%. Then he picked up Lily and their daughter. They came home. Mrs. Eleanor and the boys met them. "And we decided what to name our sister," Ben said from the doorstep. "And what?" Lily smiled. "Tanya!" Leo exclaimed. Everyone nodded in agreement. Of course, Tanya. And let her be the happiest girl. 2 years passed. Tanya grew strong and healthy. Lily went back to work. Ben and Leo were already going to school. One day, a fancy foreign car stopped outside the house. A young woman got out. Mrs. Eleanor was fussing with her granddaughter in the yard. Seeing the stranger, she went to meet her, holding Tanya in her arms. "Excuse me, does Lily live here? They told me at the store. And who are you?" Mrs. Eleanor looked at the well-groomed, refined woman with surprise. Nobody really. But I need to see her." Mrs. Eleanor wanted to send her away. She didn't have time. Lily came up. "Are you Lily Unurainim?" the stranger asked happily. "Suppose so. And who are you?" Lily raised her eyebrows. She didn't recognise her. "My name is Victoria, and I am the daughter of Mr. Caldwell. Does that name mean anything to you?" "No," Lily replied sharply. She flushed slightly. "You've made a mistake. Please leave." "No!" "But how can you say that?" "It's you," Victoria exclaimed. "I've been looking for you for so long. Listen, I have good intentions." Victoria, stumbling nervously, told her story. A year ago, her father died in an accident. Somehow, in conversation, her mother mentioned that her father had wronged a girl, took away her housing. Her mother said the girl was pregnant. When I imagined what it must have been like for her, Victoria shook her head. Without money, with a child. And I was so ashamed of my father. How could he? I don't understand. And Mother, she was wrong too. Forgiving my father, all his infidelities, and his mistress, Svetlana, was willing to live. I understand. Others. But this girl was so wronged. And I decided to find her. It took a lot of effort, but I have a good detective, and he found her. I know you gave birth to my father's child. You have 2 sons, twins. So, they are my brothers. I would like to help you. Interesting how, Lily finally said. Until then, she had been silent, listening. With money, of course, Victoria smiled. You just tell me where to transfer it, and I'll do everything. Victoria, I don't need anything from your family, Lily said firmly. Please leave. Otherwise, I'll call the police. Lily, you're being unreasonable. We can have a good relationship. I can take the boys to my place. On weekends, we'll have a great time. I can even take them to the sea. That would be wonderful, she said sincerely. I repeat, we don't need anything from you. Well, that's a shame. But I'll be back. Victoria shrugged, got into her car, drove away. Lily and Mrs. Eleanor stood by the gate, watching her go. I don't understand. Why did she want that? Mrs. Eleanor asked. She decided to atone for her daddy's sins, Lily said angrily. She calmed down, smiled. She should go to church instead. That's true, Mrs. Eleanor agreed. A month later, they found out why Victoria had come. It was shown on all television channels. The daughter of the well-known banker was arrested at the airport with someone else's child. It turned out Victoria had a sick child. A kidney transplant was needed. The donor, a closest relative. A child. So she was looking. Her father was a philanderer. Victoria decided to search among his past lovers. She found out about Lily. That's why she came. She offered to take the boys. Dark thoughts guided her, not good intentions. When Lily refused, she found another woman, who also had a child with Mr. Caldwell. Victoria found a way to approach her. Also offered to take the child abroad. The woman agreed. At the last moment, someone benevolent called. Told everything. Fortunately, Victoria didn't manage to take the child out of the country. She was arrested. And her child was helped. A donor was found. Without all of that, Lily, upon hearing the story, was frightened. What wicked people there are, she said to Ethan. How scary for our boys. What fate awaits them? Mr. Caldwell's blood runs in their veins. God forbid something shows up. So what? Ethan shook his head. What difference does it make what blood they have? They are our children, my sons. I am raising them, and they will be like me. As I act, so will they. Yes, you're right. Children follow their parents' example. And you are the best father for our sons. And for our daughter. And for little Tanya too, Ethan laughed. They sat in the yard. Nearby their daughter was playing on the grass. Ben and Leo were repairing a bicycle by themselves for the first time. Mrs. Eleanor was in the kitchen baking her signature blinnies. The aroma was divine. Soon Mrs. Eleanor would call everyone to the table. Everyone was waiting, and clouds drifted across the sky. And someone up there, unseen, was nearby, watching closely, ensuring this family would be all right, because they had been through so much, survived so much. Now they simply had to be happy. That presence watched keenly from the heavens. Or perhaps it was she.